All right, you guys, we are about 90% done. So we have the perfect fit. I ended up getting, I think it was 8 feet by 16 feet, something like that, which is perfect. Once I tighten that up, this is going to hang over about 6 to 8 inches on both sides. Now when it comes to that back side, I'm not really sure if I leave this on the inside and then just close the doors and allow that to be like what holds it back. Not sure. From the top of that door up against that 2x4, it is pretty tight, but I don't know if it's going to stop it from coming out. And that's the last thing we want, is when we're going down the road, this is just flapping all over the place. So I think what I might do is just pull it around the back and then just strap it in, or just bungee cord it back. As you can see, I finished painting most of the trailer. What's really nice is if you go through with some spray paint, you can actually get like really deep cracks and crevices that you can't really get with a brush. It's very helpful because sometimes there's some big knots and like some of these edges, it's just terrible trying to get in there with a paintbrush. So I just grabbed my paint can and finished it off that way, but still haven't found a tube. I called 6 or 7 different places trying to get one of these accordion style tubes right here. So I can just run it. I don't really know what else to go with. I could probably get a coupler that goes from like a 7-inch diameter down to like a 5-inch diameter. But the coupler at Lowe's, it was $40 just for the coupler. And that still wouldn't even be long enough to extend it to my trailer. So I'd have to buy like another PVC tube or something like that. And I'm like, dude, and I don't know, I think I want to be flexible because it is going to be like up against the trailer. Things are going to rock and move and shake, and I don't want it to snap off or break something. So I want it to be somewhat flexible, but I'm getting nowhere with this tube, you guys. I've looked on Amazon, I've looked on eBay, I called like 3 or 4 junkyards, went to Lowe's, Home Depot, Harbor Freight. I cannot find a tube that's going to work 7-inch diameter. But that's about the only thing I have left to do. And then also some anchors I plan on putting in the sides and the front and the back for the bungee cords to latch into. Every one of those stores I just named, I looked for them, and they only sell them in like 2 packs, and they are ridiculously expensive. So I just ordered a pack off Amazon. They should be here tomorrow. And then I'm going to fasten this down with bungee cords, and that should be just about it. It turned out really good. One more thing I got to show you guys is how I plan on unloading it. I have not a single idea if this is going to work. If it does, I'm a genius. This is going to be awesome. But what I did was, this is the truck bed cargo unloader I took from my truck. And I put a tarp down. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up buying a better sized tarp that'll actually fill up this whole floor. Maybe even do 2 of them, because this floor, there are some really thick splinters and stuff sticking out, and then this thing is going to catch on that, and I don't want that. The other thing I was thinking was, if I go back to Tractor Supply and I buy 2 more of those horse stall mats that I used in my video, the one that's in the back of my truck, it's really thick. It's like there's no chance it's going to slide around on this trailer. And I could put that down in here, and it looks like I'll need 1, 2, maybe 3 of them. And I'll put 1 and then 2 and then 3, and then that I know for sure will not snag on here. So it will cost me $100 to do that, because they are $50 a piece, and I'll have to get 2 more. But that will stop this trailer from snagging this, because if it snags on this and it rips this, then we're screwed. So then I'll have to go out and buy a whole new one of these, and then also I'll have to install it. And as you guys can see, all I did was I took a 3/4 inch black tube, black pipe. I'll show you right here. I have an extra one laying around. All I did was I took this 3/4 inch, I believe it's 3/4. I'd hate to give you guys the wrong dimensions, but I believe it is a 3/4. It looks like a 3/4 and it feels like a 3/4. But you never know, and I really cannot find the size on here. It's probably, it looks like a 3/4, you guys. But yeah, I just took a nice, this is probably a 2 feet piece right here, and I shoved it into the actual pole from the cargo unholder right here, and I shoved it through there, and then the other side's right here. And there's a cap on there. You don't need to put a cap on there, but I figured it's the end of it, why not? But that's going through there, and then it stops probably like somewhere around here. If I could do it all over again, I would use an entire straight pipe. But you guys, when it comes down to this part right here, this pipe that I shoved through, I had to bang that thing in with a hammer for like a solid 5 minutes. Because this little cutout right here that they use for the hand crank, I think it's pushed in, so it was really tight trying to get that thing through there. And then obviously I cut a hole and I made my own hand crank, and that way there, when I go to unload it, I can just start cranking right there. And yes, it'll clear that light. I spent 20 minutes making sure that it was going to clear that tail light. But so that's my game plan, is I'll be able to hand crank this stuff right up out of here. I don't know, it says 2,000 pounds is what it's rated for, and now that I have a 3/4 inch black pipe going through there too, it should add some strength and it shouldn't buckle. But if you guys want to try it, I mean, I'll let you guys know. I have no idea if this thing is completely full how much it's going to weigh. It's going to be pretty much like wet, mushy, ground up leaves, so they might be pretty heavy, and this thing might not work. And if it doesn't, that sucks. I'll have to just unload some of it by hand until I can hand crank it. My other idea was to get a winch down there and then use a skid and just slide it out. But then I realized I'd have to spend money on the winch and the battery, and then I'd have to figure out a way to get the battery hooked up, get some juice to it. And I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I have no idea how I'm going to mount that winch down there. So I was like, then I came up with this idea, and I was like, dude, if this works, that's genius. I know a bunch of people that will also do this. Just to let you guys know, if this does work, if I come back here and start hand cranking and that stuff starts coming out, this thing will probably dump faster, if not the same speed as a dump trailer. I'm just saying. A dump trailer, it takes time for it to go up, and then it's got to empty, and then you got to bring it back down. And by the time it does that, you know, you're not saving that much time by using a dump trailer over this. But a dump trailer is really nice. I'm not gonna lie. This was just something I did to save myself about $5,000. Because if I got a dump trailer and I put walls on it, and I got the tarps and the tubes and all the stuff I need to, you know, at the end of the day, I was gonna end up spending $10,000, $11,000 on a good dump trailer. Because if you do buy a dump trailer, please do not buy a crappy one that's really old, because you have no idea what someone's been doing with it. People have been, you know, just using the heck out of it. You have no idea, and then all of a sudden you have it for 2 years, and it takes a crap on you, and it doesn't work anymore. I'd hate for that to happen because you decided to save a couple $1,000s and buy a really beat-up used one. But anyway, dump trailers can be expensive, like I said, and I have maybe $4,500 into all of this. $4,500. And I think you might be able to buy a dump trailer for $4,500, but it's going to be small, and, you know, well, plus the billy goat on the front too, which is another $4,000. So I have $8,500 into all of this. So that's with the leaf vac and the dump trailer. $8,500. That's pretty good. I'm sure there's other ways out there, you guys, but I think I'm finally going to call it. I think this is going to be the last video I make on this dump trailer. Pretty self-explanatory with the hose up front. You just cut a hole and then boom, you're there. Maybe you got to put a hose clamp on. That's it. Nothing too extraordinary. And then the clamps on the side, very easy. I'm just going to screw right into the 2x4s and then hook the bungees up. But if I do make a video, I'll show you guys. Other than that, I hope you guys learned something. Learn from my mistakes. That's why I make these videos, is for you guys to learn from my mistakes. If I did something and you're like, that's not going to work, but I do know what's going to work, awesome. Fill me in, tell me, please. But that's the whole reason why I made this channel, you guys, is for you. Now you don't have to go out and spend $4,000, $4,600, whatever it may cost to figure out a stupid dump trailer like this. But I'm telling you, if this unloader right here works, we are on to something. That would just be freaking awesome. That would literally change the game for a lot of people. And I can't see why it won't work other than the weight. But who knows? That would just be a huge game changer that would save a lot of people a lot of money. So hopefully it works. Thanks for watching, you guys. I know it was a long one. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.